Yeah.
It's George.
It's Elaine.
Come on up.
Hey, Vinny, listen.
I never heard anything like this in my life. Listen to this.
This is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
Kramer, get in.
Where's the crazy man?
Hey, sit down. Come on, it's about to start.
Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Matt.
My name is Vinny.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, my friend?
Sick, getting over a cold.
You sound a little stuffy.
A little stuffy. I was actually really excited to do this episode because while I had a fever and I was sick on the couch, because Jerry gets sick in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Were you riding in a convertible doing 80?
No. My wife's a school teacher, so she gets sick from her kids all the time and makes me sick. Seinfeld news?
News.
Hey, I got news for you.
Great news. All right, I got news. You ready?
What?
The only bit of Seinfeld news we have this week, which seems to be a running theme, you know, it's only one little article or little item.
It's something.
Jerry was on David Letterman, right? You actually told me about this.
I did.
On September 25th, 2014, he showed up. I feel like he's on there maybe like once a year or once every 2 years.
Yeah. Well, he definitely promotes comedians in cars, but, you know, I'm sure he's just helping friends out, having another spot on the show to fill.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And you know what actually made me really excited about this was to see some stand-up of his, because
Yeah.
I haven't seen him perform lately.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I don't remember a lot. I watched it last week. I don't remember a lot of the content, but I do remember being like, hey, still got it. Like it was a solid, you know what I mean? It was a solid piece of stand-up.
Yeah, we'll play a clip here real quick.
I am a married guy. I have a wonderful wife. I have three great kids. I am very pro-family. I am very anti wanting to hear anything about anybody else's family, particularly regarding the row of little white family member stickers on the back window of your minivan. I can't believe there's a dollar decal that makes me want to plant a car bomb under a Honda Odyssey. Okay? We see you're in a minivan. That's really everything we need to know about you. No one's going, hey, look, 3 girls and a ferret, let's catch up and find out more. Look, 2 lesbians, a Malamute, and a Korean kid. What an interesting and specific choice they have made. I didn't even realize those stickers came in gay and Asian styles.
Did you watch any of the interview portion at all?
Did not.
No. I just breezed through it. It's funny when, I don't know, you feel a little cheated, but he brought up the bucket list, replaced the B with an F.
Oh, you know what? I did see that. Yes,
Oh.
I did. I'm sorry. I forgot. It was so long ago.
Yeah. It's funny. All this stuff that we watch happened like right after we record an episode. So we have to wait like an entire week to talk about it. All right. Well, we'll put a link in our show notes as usual from the Letterman appearance. And I guess that's going to do it for Seinfeld news this week. Vinny, what episode are we discussing today?
We are discussing the 9th episode of Season 2, The Stranded. It was written by Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld, and Matt Goldman. Directed by Tom Schronis, and originally aired during the show's 3rd season, November 27th, 1991.
And for everyone listening, a little disclaimer, Vinny and I are following the episode order on our DVDs, which might contradict the air date order, this episode in particular being a huge contradiction. And we recommend you pick up the Seinfeld DVD set. It's incredible. Everyone should own this. But Vinny, I think this is the only episode throughout the entire series that aired in a different season than it was produced.
As far as I know, yeah, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. And it is kind of weird because when I first watched the show, I never noticed that this episode was out of order.
Nor did I.
And maybe only like the dedicated Seinfeld fans will realize that there are a few story elements that seem to be out of sync. For example, George is still working at the real estate company.
That's one.
Kramer.
Another one is the weather, right? It's cold out versus... Because then it aired between... I don't know what episodes it aired between in the 3rd season, but I thought they made an issue about the weather as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I could be wrong.
That happened with some earlier episodes, like the busboy. George has like a winter outfit on, and that aired in the summer.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Right. But this aired in November, so that kind of works. Mm-hmm. there's a thing we'll bring up too with like Kramer is referencing story elements that happened in the jacket. So even though you can reference episodes from a prior season, it just feels weird. Why talk about something from 20 episodes prior? Now, I was debating how we should handle this because at the end of last week's episode, when we were just saying we'll be talking about the Stranded this week, we mentioned how Larry David wasn't very happy with this episode, and he had shelved it until midway through season 3. Now, I read that online, and I tried to find a source for it, and where I got the source from was actually an old Seinfeld site, an official Seinfeld site run by Sony Pictures. Now, I'm looking at this through the Wayback Machine, which is a way of preserving old websites in case they're deleted or altered. So I don't know if this sign fact is still on the official site. We'll include a link in our show notes, but I could find no other reference or confirmation about this, that Larry David was unhappy with it.
Yeah, and I mean, from what we know of Larry, the little we do know as fans, it doesn't seem like he'd be the one to shelve it. It seems like NBC would be the ones to shelve it because they were unsatisfied with the episode for whatever reason.
Right. Well, there's some trivia on the DVDs, and what we read there is that NBC actually held the episode back midway until season 3 in order to prevent wasting a new episode during the summer when audiences were traditionally smaller. So this is really weird, but so they're thinking that, hey, the audiences are going to be a lot smaller during the run of season 2 as it hits the summer. Let's pull this episode out. There seems to be a lot of I don't want to say contradicting ideas, because let's say Larry is unhappy with the episode, and let's say NBC wants to pull an episode for season 3. Those two things could be true.
Right. And with limited viewership in the summer, they're going to throw a weaker episode in there. One that they don't want to waste it with a big audience. They're going to save their A material for that, what they think is A material, right? So that would be why they would pull this one back and then inject it into the summer schedule.
It just seems really something seems funny here, why the trivia on the DVDs and why there's not a lot of information about Larry David making the decision to pull it because he was unhappy with it. I don't know, take everything with a grain of salt. We don't have any official word on the matter.
It is a tad askew.
Now, during its initial broadcast, during season 3, there was a little special introduction by Jerry.
When we filmed this episode last year, George had a job, okay? He doesn't have one now, so don't start hitting your friends going, hey, how come George's got a job? He's not supposed to have a job. So we just want you to know that we know that you know.
So, it's just weird. They know while they're making this show, this episode is going to be really weird for people to watch. If they had to pull an episode, why this episode?
I can't see why, because as we'll see in a little bit, I was quite enamored with this episode.
Get out of here, man.
You get out of here. This is a great episode.
Oh, jeez. Also interesting to note, it just boggles my mind, but this episode actually earned Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld, and Matt Goldman a Writers Guild Award nomination. Matt Goldman, we should give some context. He worked on the show during the first, 2 seasons? I think. And do you remember what his title was exactly?
I don't know if he was a script supervisor. He was working behind the scenes.
Or was it a story consultant?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But we remember one of our early episodes, if the audio's not so bad, no one listened to it. But he wrote that book, that children's book about the dragon.
Right.
You remember that?
Yeah. Have you read that book, by the way?
What was his name? All right, what do you say, man? We get into discussing the episode?
Can't we? It's about time.
So I was in the drugstore the other day trying to get a cold medication. Did you ever try and pick one of these out? It's not easy. It's a wall. It's an entire wall of cold medication. You stand there, you're going, all right, okay, what the hell? This is quick acting, but this is long lasting. When do I need to feel good, now or later? It's a tough question. And they always show you the commercials on TV where they show you what's wrong with the guy, and they always show you all the problems that he's had. First of all, they always show you the human body, which is usually this guy. No face, mouth open. This is how drug companies see the public. And he's always in a certain pain. It's red wavy lines are going through him, or he's glowing. Parts of him are on fire sometimes. Lightning is attacking him. I never had a doctor say to me, are you having any pain? Yes, I am. Are you having any lightning with the pain?
I like this bit a lot. It just hasn't aged at all. At this point, 23 years after this originally aired? And
yeah.
it just still feels topical. You know, it's a good bit in the 90s. It's still relevant today.
Well, as a pharmacist, I absolutely love this bit. And in pharmacy school, actually, there were a couple times where friends would send Seinfeld memes or clips or even curb ones. And I do like that the pharmacist is an integral part into the Seinfeld world. Mm-hmm. Even in Jerry's stand-up, why is that pharmacist got to be 2.5 feet above everybody? Who the hell is this guy? I can't be on the floor with you people. I'm going to take these pills from a big bottle and put them into a little bottle. But yeah, I'm done with my rant. Sorry.
No, it's good.
But anytime he talks about medicine or going to the drugstore or doctors or pharmacists, I love it. So this is a quality intro to that.
Now, how do you feel though about the advertisements? You know, whenever like they show the body with like the wavy lines and stuff like that, I feel like we don't get that anymore.
I don't. Yeah, well, I think the public's gotten more savvy, but I have vivid memories of those images on growing up as a kid, seeing the commercials, and you really do see the body like this with the head turned to the side, arms out, mouth open, and all you see is the tube coming down from the mouth to the stomach area. And that's Jerry's stand-up verbatim, but it's so true. And you do see lines attacking the guy, lightning. Sometimes he'll burst into flames. It really is true. So he nailed it with this one.
One thing I noticed though nowadays is, I guess just as you don't need to have like a tight budget and just have a cheap animation of it going down, someone's like esophagus into their stomach. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed like germs or bacteria, they're like little cartoon characters now.
They have faces.
They have faces and personalities. Like there was, I don't know if it was for a fungus or some kind of like bacteria, but it was like the little bacteria, like this blob, had like a workman's hat on and a briefcase. They have a life. Like they're these sentient creatures living in your body, like trying to make a living, and we're just wiping them out.
That could be a B movie spinoff, is Bug Movie or Fungus Movie.
Our first scene of the episode starts out with that exterior shot of the city, which I always love when they're actually in Manhattan filming. Mm-hmm. And I noticed a few things about this shot. Do you have any notes on it?
I do not, but I like where you're going with this.
Well, I was trying to figure out exactly where this was, and there's so many like old storefronts that you can't pinpoint it. Like there's a Howard Johnson's, but I believe this is 6th Ave or Avenue of Americas in the city, because if you look further ahead, there's this collection of really tall buildings that are, I believe one of them is the Time Life building across from Radio City Music Hall. But so I think that's the location, maybe down a few blocks, like in the 40s. But did you notice that really like out of place porn theater?
I did not.
There was a marquee and it says, "I need more sex." Oh. And I thought that was it was just kind of cool, because I feel like the city has been cleaned up so much, you don't really see that advertised as much anymore. Like there's still your adult stores, but they've been just reduced to only like a handful in Midtown, and they're kind of like off to the side. They're not like in like the heart of Midtown so much anymore, since it's so touristy.
Yeah.
But if anyone's interested, I believe it is starring Amber Lynn, who has been in from my research. I'm not
you own that
expert,
film, right?
Yeah, right. She was in the adult film industry since the early '80s. So I couldn't find anything on the movie though.
Okay.
I'm trying to follow up our discussion from the stakeout when we're trying to figure out the porn that Elaine buys for Jerry.
Yeah. So so that means you Googled "I need more sex." That's in your search history.
Yeah. We go inside a drugstore, and there are so many moments in this episode that pay off later in the series. Like it's insane.
Well, for one, I didn't notice the little leg scratching thing that George was doing right as the scene opens. I never paid attention to it, whether I'm looking away or just thinking about something else. But he scratches with his arm or his hand, and then he uses his foot to scratch his other leg.
Now, Jerry asks how he got fleas, and George says that his cousin's imbecile dog was outside and they got in his carpet. So I assume that the dog was over at George's place?
Or he went to go visit his cousin.
And he brought the fleas back?
Either way.
Right.
Fleas occur again in Seinfeld in season 6's The Doodle, in which Newman gives Jerry fleas.
Right. Now we get into again, every episode it always starts with a little conversation, a little joke, and then we get into the main plot. George asks if Jerry is coming to the party, and this is a party out in Long Island. Jerry would go, but it's so far out, and this is an interesting little look into Jerry's mind and Elaine's too, that it reeks of desperation, and everyone's going to be asking, oh, you came all the way out from Manhattan for this, which I don't think that ever runs through my head. I just don't like going to parties if it's like more than like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't like parties in general. Just I'd rather be home.
Totally.
In my jams.
George sets up that Ava will be there, who we haven't met her, but she works at George's office. We should refer to what George's office as. It's the real estate company, but what's the name of it?
Brick Bar Properties?
Brick Bar, yeah. Mm-hmm. But Ava will be there. She's the nice one from his office. I don't get why George needs Jerry and Elaine to be there, why he can't just go by himself.
Well, so Ava's going to be there. She's the nice one. George brings this up to Jerry as if he's trying to entice Jerry to come with Ava's presence. But George is the one who's eventually going to get with her. But the way it's presented to Jerry, it's like, Ava's going to be there. The nice one from my office? It makes it seem as if, like, Jerry, you could meet her.
That's interesting. Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, I saw that. That stuck out to me.
Something about the setup felt weird. George offers to drive, and now Jerry's like, oh, now you're talking. It's weird. Jerry didn't want to go to the party anyways, and the fact that George will drive, I don't know, like, Jerry still doesn't want to go. It just kind of confuses me as to why, like, Jerry and Elaine would ever go to this party, unless, like, they really wanted to go. They just didn't want to drive.
Well, the first reason he didn't want to go was because he didn't want people at the party to say, you came all the way out here for this?
Mm-hmm.
It smacks of the desperation. But then once George offers the drive, Jerry's like, oh, now you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like in The Jacket when he talks about the allure of the lift.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry's immediately saying, hey, okay, now we're in business. If you're going to drive, I'll be happy to go, because he doesn't have to, think about anything. It's supposed to be a really good party, though. So there was actually additional dialogue for this scene in which George mentions that his coworker, Ava, had just broken up with her boyfriend. And George says he likes hearing about couples breaking up. And Jerry replies, yeah, it's like when you see those old films of buildings being demolished.
And this totally works, too.
Pretty apt.
Yeah, I don't know why they had cut this part out. Maybe it just got a little too complicated. It's like, if George likes Ava and if she likes him, why do we need to know about her ex?
Mm-hmm.
It's just maybe a little too much, but...
Or perhaps it's a better reveal at the party when it's like, she wants me to take her home,
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, though, I don't think I've ever been... Like, if I'm attracted to someone that's dating someone else, and I find out that they break up, I'm never like, oh yeah, now's my chance. Like, it almost makes me feel like a little...
dirty.
God. I don't know.
Well, this comes up later in, what is it, The Wait Out,
Mm-hmm.
where Elaine and Jerry are both waiting out couple marriages.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I see people dating, but I'm more likely to be invested in a breakup if it's a poor relationship to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the guy treats the girl badly, then I'm happy when they break up. But if it's a good relationship, then I'm not as happy.
George tries to entice Jerry a little bit, right? Saying, oh, there are going to be girls there. And Jerry's like, oh, there's girls everywhere. They're in cafeterias, subways, so what? Which is really funny, but there was a lot more to this too, right?
Mm-hmm. So originally in the script, George continued the discussion on why it's not acceptable for men to talk to women they don't know, in stores or on the street. So George says they're prohibited areas. You're only allowed to talk to strange women in certain designated zones: parties, bars, airplanes, health clubs. Jerry replies, I know, it's amazing. You could be 5 feet outside a bar, you try to talk to a woman, she looks at you like you're a hobo. But once you get through that door and into the designated zone, they still look at you like you're a hobo, but at least they won't scream.
Which is funny. It also has like this weird like dark element to it.
Yeah.
Too.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm. Now they start looking at medication. George needs, what is he looking for, some kind of like Benadryl or like topical ointment?
Yeah, I think it said it was antibiotic ointment.
There's 100 different things here. What's the difference between these two? You got propylparaben?
Got it.
You got isobutane 30?
I got isobutane 20.
Uh-huh.
You got sorbitan sesquioleate?
Got it.
I have aloe.
You got aloe? I love aloe.
Where do they make yours?
Jersey?
White Plains.
Now I have to ask Vinny, as a pharmacist, do you know any of these ingredients?
Well, I mean, I've heard of them. Like propylparaben is a preservative. Sorbitan sesquioleate is used as a moisturizer, but these are more excipients. inert things they put in a product. I'm more concerned with the active ingredient. So
Right.
I'm not very familiar with these things.
Okay. Do you ever do this though? I mean, take a step away from the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Just
Take
like
off,
counter
take
for
off
a second.
Take off your little pants there and go ahead.
I've never done this before, like in a store. I look at ingredients, but I never compare two things. Like, oh, what does this have? What does this have? But it's a great idea. I really should do it more often.
Oh yeah, and it's hysterical that yours has isobutane 30. It has more isobutane. So bring it.
I didn't get this really when I first watched this episode. Growing up in the Midwest, but when they talk about where it's made.
Oh, this is brilliant, and it's such a dig at New Jersey.
It's like Jersey, White Plains. He's like,
Right.
obviously, yeah.
We forgot aloe as well. George loves aloe.
Oh, right, he does love aloe. Now, when they go to check out, George notices that the cashier only gave him change for 10 when he, swears he gave her 20, and they get in a bit of an argument. But real quick, as an aside, did this make you think of another episode of Seinfeld?
Yes, it did. It made me think of the gum. So George claims he gave Ruthie Cohen a 20
At the coffee shop.
And he says, I can prove it. If there's a $20 bill in there with red lipstick on the president, that's mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so weird how this stuff, I don't want to say it comes back. I mean, we say this a million times. Like, no one's referencing this episode, but these themes, though, I just love any connection.
Well, you can tell these are things that happen to these writers, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Real life events or just things they found interesting, and they put them in the show. So it's the human psyche.
When George starts, he doesn't argue with the cashier out front. He tries to be polite about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. They walk away, and that's when he notices that she gave him the wrong change. And when he starts heading back, I didn't know Jerry started this so early, but he does, oh boy.
Yeah, or here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, he says them both. He's like, oh boy, here we go. I thought that was just something with Elaine that he does, but it's like this really weird repeated joke through the episode. Now, George does make a good argument where he says, who'd be more likely to make a mistake? Someone like me who has access to his wallet and knows exactly what's in there, or her?
Yeah. Well,
this is a tricky area, right? Like, who's in the wrong?
I mean, as someone working in retail, you have to kind of always give the customer the benefit of the doubt. But she is very short with George to the point where she cuts him off. Mm-hmm. Someone who's rifling through money all day, or me. And she's like, you. She cuts him off, doesn't even let him finish his argument.
Yeah, she's good.
I count everything in front of I call them patients because they're patients. But I count all the bills, all the money, put it in their hand, and then I close my drawer just so there's no issue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is riveting podcasting.
Now, during this argument, a security guard, I guess, comes over and tries to calm George down. And as he's pulling him outside, I guess he's kicking him out, which is this just feels so unrealistic, that a cashier would argue with someone this much and that a security guard would have to take them out. But George, this I think might be the first time we ever see him get like kind of like the high-pitched, whiny, like frantic, like, you think this is over? This isn't over. You know what I'm talking about?
You have my money. I will get it back.
Yeah, this like the crazy's been turned up. And an earlier episode, didn't you mention that George does the first ho-ho? Like, ho-ho?
Yes.
Now, here's another.
Second ho-ho?
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting, we felt like the George character was established so well early on in the show, but we're still getting new, like, George mannerisms or isms, as they were.
Yeah. A new layer has been revealed.
Next scene is at the house in Long Island. There's a bunch of cars outside, and Jerry, George, and Elaine walk in. And I love this discussion that Elaine and Jerry have, where she's like, all right, let's blend in. And Jerry's like, no, let's survey first and camp by the door. Do you ever have like an agenda when you're at a party like that?
I like to glob on to who I'm with, so I'm not, who's that guy standing by himself over there?
Like, that's why I'd never go to a party if like the one person I'm with is going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
George is, there's, again, it's just something about his character. I think it's when he's excited about like another woman, or he's like trying to be like cocky. Like, you can just tell he's putting on a show.
There are certain times I find George charming, and then there's other times I find him irritating. Like in the phone message, when he was pursuing that woman, I found him very charming because he seemed very genuine and sincere, and he's like, I really like her, even though he was being very neurotic about the phone message. But this time's a little different.
Well, he calls Ava over, and you can already tell he's on, right? Do you like him in this moment or no?
Not so much.
And also maybe it's because Ava, you can tell, is not, it's debatable, but I don't think she's really like a good person.
I'm not a fan of her.
Yeah, there's just something about her that just doesn't feel right.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Ava is played by actress Terry Austin. So we see her in The Stranded, but we also see her come back in The Revenge.
Yes.
As the same character, she's still as Ava. And Levitan, George's boss, asks Ava, what happened to you this weekend? She's like, oh, I got tied up. And he's like, I'll bet you did. So we have not a double dipper, but a single twofer. What do you call this?
Well, this is kind of like the Vanessa situation with the
there you go.
stakeout and
She comes back again.
the stock tip. Yeah, she comes back, but
if we think if we
ahead.
think about the sequence of events here, this episode was supposed to have taken place prior to the revenge, correct?
yeah, the way it was written
Okay.
and filmed.
Okay. So I guess we'll have to talk about that more so when we come to the revenge. But it's almost like George and Ava don't even acknowledge each other in the revenge episode, which is interesting because they got this history now. They slept together. Well, they're about to sleep together, but it's almost like it's swept under the rug. So Ava says,
So guess who just sold 129 West 81st?
What the hell is going on?
"Oh, this is weird." If there's ever a bigger discrepancy, I don't know what it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is huge.
I was trying to like retcon this. I'm like, how could this be fixed? How could this make sense? But she doesn't say the apartment number, right? So
True.
maybe she's like talking about one of the units there. I don't know. But it makes you think though it's like a walk up, right? Like it's like a house,
Yeah.
not an
Right.
apartment building. And this is the part that actually bugs me about George, where he's like,
I don't believe it.
Ask Mark.
Mark, is this true?
and they just walk off and leave Jerry and Elaine standing in the door.
And that reminded me of last week's episode, The Apartment, where they're shouting across the room at each other. Bob, this is Jerry, the guy who got Elaine the apartment.
What's wrong with me? Like, I don't know if you feel the same way. I just hate that. Oh, we're at a party and we're gonna like shout across the room. Jerry and Elaine, I like how they're kind of like, teaming up here. They just feel like this party is going to be a disaster. And Jerry has this great system, which I feel like either we've used before, or I've brought up to my wife before to use, but if you get separated and you're in a bad conversation, we need to create a signal so the other one can, get you out of it.
Oh, totally agree. It's brilliant.
But Elaine asks Jerry, which I thought was interesting, how old are you? And he says 36,
Yeah.
which made me wonder, is this the first time he's ever said his age? And secondly, is this the only time we hear Jerry's age?
Yeah, because I don't think you ever hear him refer to himself as being 40 or over the age of 40, right?
No.
Because he was over 40 for the majority of the series.
And this is sort of that age where we were talking about it maybe last episode. Like, I feel like Elaine is a little younger. So is George, for that matter. But Kramer seems to be maybe a little older than Jerry. But
yeah.
I kind of get the weird vibe that like this is that age that they stay throughout the enther series, even though they're all in their 40s by the end.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like cartoons that don't age. But in the outing, Kramer says to Jerry, he's like, "You're single, thin, mid-30s."
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There's
So-
one.
And by that episode, he would have been 38.
Right.
So
It's weird to think about.
Yeah,
I like to.
really
I
weird.
want to think of Jerry frozen at this age. 36 is the perfect age.
yeah, definitely.
Well, what stuck out to me about this little scene here is that I love how Elaine scoffs at this idea, being like, "How old are you? 36?" But then minutes later, she's patting herself senseless, trying to get out of that conversation.
Good point. Yeah.
So she totally uses it.
Jerry's ideas, right, are chicken wing.
That's the first one.
That's the first one, and then he goes to the head padding. Is it the chicken wing? Like, how could anyone do that for real? Like, it makes no sense.
Well, George has the elbow thing when he's,
Oh,
when he's talking to Lloyd Braun
great point. Yeah.
in the non-fat is that the non-fat yogurt?
Yeah, and even later, Jerry's like, "Oh, it's a nervous tick," when he tells the guy that's why he's patting his head.
That's right. Although I gotta say, these two signals, they're a bit over the top. I think you could do something more discreet, like a ear tug or a glasses readjust, something like that. But
Right.
this is ridiculous, this head tapping.
So we transition later in the party. Jerry's sitting on the couch with another guy. We don't know the character's name, but I guess in the script he was known as Roy.
Roy, played by actor John Putch.
John Putch. He looked really familiar, actually. I think he's in some Star Trek Next Generation episodes. Do you watch Star Trek, Vinny?
I do not.
All right, maybe some of our listeners recognized him. It's just as Jerry had prophesized, he asks Jerry, oh, you came all the way out from Manhattan for this? And I love this joke. He just asks, so what do you do? And Jerry just immediately starts patting his head. And that's got to be just like the worst. I think there's certain professions that, I don't know, I feel like it's usually in the arts or any kind of career where you really have to struggle and really make a life for yourself. I feel like those are the worst careers to have to talk about with people. Because
you're a comedian? Say something funny.
Yeah, or like, because I feel like for the most part, people for a living, they have jobs that are either very routine, like something, say, in retail, where it's, everyone can understand how that life is, or they go to school to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Like it's all kind of like a paint by numbers, route to get there. Whereas something in the arts, like a comedian, it's just, there's no playbook on how to do it.
No.
That it must,
and it's fascinating to the layperson. So of course you want to ask all these questions, like how do you get your material? That's a good question. Although I'm sure comedians find it irritating.
That's
to
what
have
I'm
the
saying.
Same question.
Yeah, like because in the arts, since there's no playbook, you're really kind of making it up as you go, and it's your personal process that it must be awful to have to talk about.
Mm-hmm. But I do like how Jerry, he appeases the man by answering his question, but he's also screwing with him by giving him little BS answers like, how do you get your material? I hear a voice. It's a man's voice, but it speaks in German, so I have to get it translated.
Yeah. Jerry's known for this, just totally like, messing with people and being as sarcastic as possible. It kind of reminds me of the Manya thing where he's like, my ankles swell up and I can't dance.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Can't dance. Help me out with this, though. He says he's patting his head because of a nervous tic, and he says he's on L-Dopa. Mm-hmm. What do you know what L-Dopa is?
So levodopa is a precursor to dopamine, a neurotransmitter in our bodies, and Parkinson's is believed to be due to a depletion of dopamine, which is why he's on L-Dopa, because he's got this. Well, he said a nervous tic, but I took it as he's got incontrollable movements.
That's pretty interesting. Thanks, Vinny. We should have like a pharmacist sort of like segment of this episode.
Let's not do that. Please.
Test you on mic.
No.
Elaine's on the other side of the room talking to a guy in the script known as Frank.
Mm-hmm. Played by Dwayne Kennedy.
I always think of Billy Madison whenever someone says Frank.
Actually, the shirt belongs to Frank. Damn it, Billy!
This guy is incredible. Like in these early episodes, there's just like kind of like a one-off character. They never have a name, but this episode doesn't really do it for me. But there are a lot of little quotes though that I just love.
They're timeless. Some of the one-liners that the side characters say really stick with you.
Yeah, they really do.
This guy Frank coming up, got the nail one.
On the other hand, you take a guy like George Washington Carver. The man devoted his whole life to the peanut. Imagine having so much passion for something. I've often wondered if he ever worked with the pecan.
Yeah, me too.
Now, is that considered a nut? Because I know the cashew is a legume.
I don't know if it's how he says it. Or
No, it's all delivery.
Yeah.
Because he gets to that high pitch. And we actually say this a lot.
Do we quote this actual line or do we just use that, like the intonation?
I think a little bit of both. But I know the cashew is a legume. That one.
Whoa, that was really... I think regardless of what you think of this episode, I feel like everyone remembers this guy, this conversation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
George sits with Jerry at one point, and he's going on about Ada, and he can't believe it because she can't take her hands off of him. And, she was friendly around the office, and that was about it. And Jerry brings up the point that maybe she liked him all along, but George argues that he would have known. Women always somehow let you know that they like you.
So I found this stuck out to me as being contradictory because George seems very inept at being able to pick up signals from a woman, as well as Jerry. They talk about that in the pilot. And even in the phone message, he talks about, when a woman smiles at him, he has no idea what it means. It looks like they're psychotic or something. So George seems like he's very aware of what's going on at this point. Doesn't that seem like they're offsetting?
So you're asking if what George is saying here is contradicting what he said in the pilot?
Just from what we know of George, from all the episodes leading up to this, that I thought he was unable to tell what a woman was thinking. You know what I mean? Couldn't pick up the signals. With this one, he realizes it's a go with Ava, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what my gripe is that George acts like he knows exactly how to enter what a woman is doing versus everything else we've been led to believe up to this point.
I think George is confused because he's like, where's this coming from Ava? Because I would have seen signs of it at work or earlier on. But
I have a friend who I assume every signal I get, I assume, oh, that doesn't mean anything, or I never even noticed.
Right there with you.
I have a friend who thinks the smallest thing, he's like, dude, she likes you. Ask her out. I'm like, she just handed me a napkin. That's, you know what I mean? I don't know.
At that point, like, I equate that with your friend playing with action figures. You know what I mean? He's just like playing with you guys. He's like, oh,
I'm a
yeah,
puppet.
like you have nothing to lose if you go over there and embarrass yourself.
There you go. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, something else George says here that I don't know if you relate to, but I totally have in the past.
I can always tell when a woman likes me. They always somehow let you know. With me, they could torture me. I wouldn't tell them. If anything, I try to make them think I don't like them. Then they think, oh, look at this guy. He's not even looking at me. He must have something going for him. You know?
Oh, yeah. I do that every day of my life. Yeah. I try and make them think that I don't like them so that I don't get set up for the inevitable rejection.
Yeah.
And they actually touch on this in the I keep referring back to the phone message, but remember when George and Elaine are going back and forth and he's like, she wants you to like her. Yes, she wants me to like her if she likes me, but she doesn't like me.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid.
God, it's so complicated.
It's a hazy mystery. So Jerry's ready to go at this point, right?
Yes.
George says now, and Jerry says, if not now, when? So I like this right now because George says, give me a half hour. And Jerry immediately says, all right, half hour. So Jerry is being a really good bro at this point, letting George pursue this woman.
You know, this whole situation, I was trying to think of this, you know, from like beat by beat. Exactly. Did it make sense that George drove out there with Jerry and Elaine? Because did George have any intentions of going home with Ava?
I don't think so.
At all, right? Like that wasn't even on the table.
I don't think it's unlike the character of George to ever assume he has a shot of going home with a woman to start. And then two, I really just thought, you know, he'd meet girls at the party, but not go home with them, that kind of thing.
Sure. Now,
so I don't think there was any. He didn't intend to strand Jerry and Elaine at this place.
Yeah, totally. Well, and also, and we can get into it later. Like, would it have been a big deal if Jerry and Elaine went back with them?
Well, were they going to Ava's place or were they going to George's place?
That's a good question. But I mean, couldn't George?
It's awkward anyway.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into it here in a little bit. Just the character of Ava. Maybe she wouldn't want, you know. Like George would have lost his chance if other people had to be in the car.
Perhaps. It's a delicate window of opportunity, from what I'm told. Frank's still talking. He's going off peanut butter, peanut brittle, and then Jerry comes in. Man, can I talk to you? So he gets her out of that one.
Right. And she just starts criticizing. She's like, I've been smacking myself senseless here.
And then do they just cut to a new scene with Jerry standing by the banister? And there's the woman who says...
Yeah, I think I've seen you in a club. You talk about a lot of everyday things, right?
Right.
Yeah, I remember you.
And then she goes right back to her conversation. And I love the subtle dig at Jerry. Like, you got to think the writer just threw that in there as a nice joke. But damn, that's hysterical.
It's these little moments here that are so good. And we find out later that lady's name is Ellen. That asked Jerry that. But, oh, God, she's such good delivery there. Now we cut to Elaine sitting on the couch, and I think this is probably the most iconic moment from this episode.
Hands down.
Always shows up in clip shows. This woman, she's known in the script as Gwen.
Played by Melissa Wheel.
Did she have like a little Sigourney Weaver thing going on?
She did.
Yeah, did you notice that?
Yes, I did.
She's sitting across from Elaine, and...
Now, is she engaged? Am I remembering that correctly?
Well, let's go to a clip here. Let's see.
Okay.
I wonder what happened to my fiancé. I know he's here somewhere. Ellen, have you seen my fiancé? He's upstairs. Are you going upstairs? Tell my fiancé I'm looking for him. I have lost my fiancé, the poor baby.
Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
What?
The dingo ate your baby.
Now, this response from Elaine, right, as we just said, classic line, shows up on all the clip shows. Everyone knows this I feel like with Seinfeld, people know this scene. People even know this response. Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
I would wager that more people know this from Seinfeld versus the actual reference.
Right. And I have to say, like, I knew it was from a movie.
A movie.
A movie. But I didn't know anything really about the movie until we, started taking notes on this episode. And
well, I agree with you fully. I knew it was from something. I didn't know what. And I've never seen, it's from A Cry in the Dark, a movie from 1988, which is a really dark movie. Or at least the plot of the movie is very dark.
Right. It stars Meryl Streep and Sam Neill. And it's
Sam Neill.
Remember him?
Jurassic Park, right?
I haven't seen him in a while. I wonder what he's up to. Anyways, it was based on a true story about a woman that claimed while camping in the Australian outback that a dingo stole her baby from the family's tent. And the baby was never found. And as a result, though, the woman is charged with murder, and it's like this whole investigation and trial, and it's taking that subject matter that is really dark and really sad. Yeah. And actually, the movie is on YouTube in its entirety. So,
viewing party.
Yeah, right. This is actually kind of dark, but I figured we could actually play. So this is the deal. That line, maybe the dingo ate your baby, I was looking for it in the movie, and she never says it like that. But during
really?
Yeah, she never says the dingo ate my baby. But there is a moment here, and this is it's so dark for this show, but like after the baby is gone from the tent and she starts freaking out, Meryl Streep does say this line at one point.
The dingo's got my baby!
So it's sort of similar to the dingo ate my baby.
Well, I do like that Elaine made it her own then.
Mm-hmm. Right. And people got it. It's just weird because my wife knows this line and she laughs whenever she hears it. And I haven't asked her yet, but I wonder if you took, say 100 people that watch this scene and they laugh at this moment or they like this moment, you'd have to ask them, like, why is this funny?
Yeah.
It's so topical. It's actually moved past topical. It's like its own thing now to the point where I feel like people wouldn't even know why they're laughing at it. If they don't get the reference.
Thing? Oh, that's from Seinfeld, yeah.
Yeah, Seinfeld came up with that, right? Just Elaine does this random Australian voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She is so pleased with herself when she says this to Gwen. Because Gwen's just taken aback. She has no idea how to respond to it. And Elaine is smitten.
Why is Gwen so offended?
Because they ate her fiance. Is that a thing when you're a fiance? That's all you talk about is your fiance. You like starting sentences with my fiance. My fiance this, my fiance that.
I mentioned my wife like 10 times this episode for some reason. She has an inner ear infection. That only works, I guess, if you say my wife has an inner ear infection.
There it is. So now we go to Jerry and George. George asks Jerry for a tremendous favor. Jerry does favors, and he says George says Ava wants me to take her home. And Jerry selflessly tells George, go ahead and take the car. So there's two things here. I really like that Jerry is being so selfless, and he's willing to do whatever he can to help George pursue Ava. So he's like, go ahead, take the car. We'll manage. And George is actually pretty compassionate. And he's like, well, what about you and Elaine? And he's like, are you sure? Mm-hmm. So I think they're both very considerate of each other in trying to make every party happy. But, man, if Jerry isn't honoring the bro code here, you know what I mean? Like, he's the original Barney Stinson.
Oh, yeah. And, it's funny you bring that up because we can talk about this more during the stand-up in the next scene. But he does say it's a code.
Yeah.
That men have to look out for one another. And, I mean, I know we shouldn't mention other sitcoms here, but How I Met Your Mother, I don't know if they were inspired by this or if this was just sort of like a universal understanding between men. But it's true. Whenever like a woman or a man for that matter is in your guy friends, like,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
crosshairs, you're okay, go ahead. Like it's all good. I'll walk home. Before George gets into specifics, a woman kind of walks through them and he stops talking. And it's Jenny, right? And this is the wife of Steve.
This is the couple that's hosting the party, Steve and Jenny. The wife, Jenny, just walked past.
Yeah, and as we know, she's kind of like, really irritated later on when Jerry and Elaine are still around. But
yes,
the look she gives Jerry and George here when she like walks through them, it's so cold. And I'm like, what's the deal? Like the party's still in full swing. Like Jerry and George didn't do anything wrong, but she just gives them this nasty look.
She just had a puss on her face the whole night.
Yeah, and what was that?
It's a word.
Okay.
So if you look, what are you 5? She's reaming Steve out later on in the episode, so you can just tell it's not a happy marriage, and perhaps that's why Steve ends up cheating on her later on.
Now, this character was talking to Ellen, who was the woman we mentioned, is like, oh yeah, I remember you. So I wonder if like Ellen was like trash talking Jerry.
Oh, being a crappy comedian?
Or just something about him that she didn't like. And then when Jenny walks through Jerry and George, that's why she gives Jerry the dirty look.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This is fan fiction going wild here, but that's like the only thing I could understand why she gave him a bad look. Also, maybe the actress just didn't have any material to work with, and she's like, well, like, majority of my character is just really mean and yelling at my husband. I'll just be an unhappy character throughout the whole episode. So George says here, and God, this makes me just so uncomfortable when I hear this.
She told me she wants me to make love to her.
What? She said that?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
There's something about, like, make love to me. It just sounds so, it's heavy. You know what I mean? It's, you're going from 0 to 100, in an instant.
Okay.
I feel like it would be more like, let's go back to your place, or it's like, let's go home and, have sex, or let's go home and
so, can you bleep that out?
Yeah.
So, from the way they're building this up, it's more carnal, and it's purely physical, and Ava just wants to take George back to her place or his place and have her way with him. But when she says "make love to me," that has more implications, right?
In this context, like, it just seems weird. Now, George is hesitant to tell Jerry what he said back to Ava after she said she wants him to make love to her. But he says,
I long for you.
I don't know what you can say to follow up "make love to me," so I think that's as good as you're gonna get. You know what I mean? When Jerry's right, that's not bad. And George is like, I'm lucky I said anything at all.
and maybe I relate to what George says here, but he's like, it's when women say "make love to me," it's intimidating, and it kind of is. Maybe that's what makes me so uncomfortable about it. Is like, I feel like someone to say that who you have a very either like long relationship with or just a very close relationship with, like where you've been intimate before. I feel like you don't start off, the first time you're having sex with someone saying "make love to me." And the last time a woman told George that, he wound up apologizing to her. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at that moment.
Oh, man.
No, but what does that mean, though, if it's like "make love to me" and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't," or...
So George says he doesn't think he can do it, right? And this is why he never plays anything for money, because he always chokes. Mm-hmm. And I immediately thought of the scofflaw when we see George's poker face.
Oh, yeah.
And he definitely chokes when Jerry calls him out on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a little paranoid, right? He's like, what if he can't deliver? And she tells everyone...
You got to see her in the office. Mm-hmm. It's going to really complicate things.
It's very risky. And we can get into this again later, but like... dating anyone you work with, as we both know, actually, is it's dangerous territory. It works.
Playing with dynamite.
Oh yeah, I've dated 2 of my bosses in my life, and it's always just a little. I mean, it's great in the beginning, but it usually falls apart at some point. At least it's not fun when it starts to end. Now Elaine's on the couch talking to. I think she's talking to Roy. The guy
it's an older gentleman,
an older man. She's telling him that she's reading manuscripts for Pendant Publishing.
Pendant, those bastards.
Such a great callback. When I used to watch this, like I used to have my episodes in order of the air date, and watching this in season 3, I never got that reference because it was so far removed from the jacket, which is what it's a callback to when Elaine's father, Alton, is like, as you said, Vinny. Do you like these moments? I mean, I feel like they're really...
Love them.
This is the first callback in this episode, I think.
Yeah, we're going to get one from Kramer later on. Mm-hmm. Those are 2 that I can think of.
But still, it's not like it's not like a continuing storyline where it's like, oh, hey, like, I dated this girl, now she's come back in my life. They're very subtle jokes. Like, if you hadn't seen the jacket, I don't know if this joke really would have been that funny.
You're out of luck. And, well, I think what's so great about it is that this is something that people do in real life, is they're constantly quoting each other or calling back to, hey, remember that time we did this or did that? Larry thought it was very important to have these little callbacks for continuity. And that was something that gave Seinfeld its realistic nature. And it absolutely does.
You even see Jerry, when he's saying the line, kind of smirking a little bit.
Yeah.
Almost like he's getting a lot of pleasure out of just saying that line. Now,
I wonder if they quoted Lawrence Tierney a lot following, because he was such a memorable guest star.
Yeah.
That I wonder if they constantly quoted him throughout the series.
Yeah, they might have. Jerry pulls Elaine away from the convo and explains that George is going home with Ava and taking the car, and Jerry has no idea what they're going to do for a ride. Maybe Kramer could pick them up. And this is the part where we get about the code, right? Like, it's part of the code. What could I do?
Elaine's pissed. She's like, how could you let him take the car?
Yeah. To be fair, though, it was kind of like hard. It was kind of inconsiderate for Jerry to make the decision without telling Elaine, but
had it just been George and Jerry, then it would have been totally fine.
Oh, no big deal.
But the fact that Elaine wasn't a part of it, and I actually thought, could George have had the same conversation he had with Jerry with Elaine there as well? Because we always talk about Elaine being, mixed company, guys and girls, and Elaine's one of the guys. They always talk about these topics and nothing's off limits. But at this point in the Seinfeld universe, we still have our old innocent Elaine with her morals and everything. Could George have broached the subject of, hey, I want to pursue this woman. May I have the car? I don't think Elaine would have gone with. I think she would have been more tactful, but I don't think she would have gone along with it.
She would have given him crap for it.
Yeah.
Next scene, we get a little bit of stand-up.
All plans between men are tentative. If one man should suddenly have an opportunity to pursue a woman, it's like these two guys never met each other ever in life. This is the male code. And it doesn't matter how important the arrangements are. I mean, most of the time they scrub a space shuttle mission, it's because one of the astronauts met someone on his way to the launch pad. They hold that countdown. He's leaning against a rocket talking to her, so listen, when I get back, what do you say we get together for some time?
Again, we don't have to comment, I guess, too much on the stand-up here, but this is just such a great little bit. And I feel like this feels like original stuff. This wasn't written for the show.
It's solid. Even the example he brings up with the astro is just so good. It hits it out of the park.
Now, I thought the stand-up, though, portion was really interesting because we're used to stand-up opening the show, a little bit in the middle, and then some to close an episode. Now, this stand-up, though, literally gets dropped in the middle of this conversation with Jerry and Elaine. It's really weird. Usually the stand-up helps bridge two scenes together.
Yeah, good point.
Whether it's location or time, but we come back and Elaine and Jerry are still in the same, blocking, same position in the room. So
that's probably because the exact subject that they left off is where his stand-up picks up.
Right.
So it talks about the guy code. Elaine's upset. Change to the stand-up, and then you come back to the conversation. So we come back from stand-up, and we're back at the party, and Elaine sees Ava putting on this fur coat, and Elaine's upset, and she says, "Is that real fur?"
Oh boy!
It's our first reveal of Elaine's distaste for people wearing fur. But this is, as I said earlier, we have older Elaine versus new Elaine. Older Elaine is more, stronger in her convictions. So we've already seen the tuna dying in the nets. She's passionate about that. She's also against smoking, which we'll see in The Boyfriend with Keith Hernandez. Can you think of anything else that she's against that we've come across in the series?
I can't really think of anything she, is completely turned off by, like when it comes to her morals. But
later on, it's religion with Putty. Right.
Well, she's like, which I personally, I totally agree with her in that religion episode. But this stuff now, there seems to be like morals behind it, where it's like,
yeah,
I feel bad for these like animals or what we're doing to, certain environments. But later on, I think it's because she's bitter.
Oh, she's pro-choice.
Oh, that's a huge one. Jeez. Hello.
How did I miss that?
Come on.
So Elaine says, "Hey, is that real fur?" Ava says, "It better be, otherwise my ex-husband owes me an explanation."
I think that's the line that really bugs me about the Ava character. Like,
yes,
I think that's when you realize like this isn't like a very like just good person,
right?
Just from the combination of the fur to like, oh, my ex-husband, he
materialistic.
Bought me yeah, just and you see George is so desperate to get out of there with her.
He's a little weasel.
Do you think he is? When I first watched this episode, I thought he was just excited to be with her, like, oh, let's get home and get started, as you do. But you think it's because he's picking up exactly on what Elaine is doing, right? And he's like, oh, get me out of here.
Well, yeah, because this situation is going to escalate fast, and it end a couple different ways. But I think that from George's point of view, it could align with Ava being so upset that she's out of the mood, right?
I kind of wish, like, part of me is like things didn't work out for George because of Elaine. Like, I don't know, that feels like it's more suited for Seinfeld. But Elaine keeps pursuing this issue though, and brings up innocent, defenseless animals being tortured, so Ava can look good. And even though I don't side with Ava at all, she makes a good point, and she's like, are you vegetarian?
There's your comeback line. I eat fish occasionally.
Well, we also got the Jerry, here we go. It's just, they're really, I think they're trying to get a lot of mileage out of this, oh boy, here we go stuff in this episode. It doesn't do it for me at all.
I used to say that to you a lot in college. You would make a joke, and I'd be like, here we go. And then you would joke about my here we go with another here we go.
Elaine says she eats fish occasionally. And this is actually a good point. Like, Elaine says that, fish don't feel pain. They're not kept in cages. Do you think that's true? Do you think fish can? Well, they must be able to feel pain. Yeah.
If a human gets his head chopped off, it's quick. But I would hope I expect you feel something.
Now, she's like, their fish aren't kept in cages, and Ava brings up a point. She's like, "Oh, have you ever seen a goldfish?" And she's like, "They're kept
in eat a goldfish, Ava."
Yeah, that's true. She's like, "They're kept in a bowl for 2 weeks and then flushed down the toilet," and that just reminded me a little bit of the parking garage with Elaine and her goldfish, and that fish died.
I missed that one.
And she was pretty heartbroken when that fish died.
She was.
Yeah. George was so desperate in this scene. He's like, "I've eaten frogs. Nobody's perfect."
Ooh, he's irritating here.
And as Ava and George leave, I love Elaine's shouting back at them. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead. Maybe you can run over a squirrel."
That's why we live in America. What an ass.
Yeah. Future episode, did that remind you of anything?
The squirrel that George runs over?
Yeah, in the Merv Griffin show.
There you go.
All right. We're trying.
We got the tiny little instruments being flown in.
Now, this anti-fur stance Elaine takes, we actually have evidence of this declining later on in the show, because in the reverse peephole, Putty wears that fur coat.
Yep, he's wearing a coat.
All right, the fur coat, Dr. Zaius. And what happens? Does someone ask her, "I thought you were anti-fur"?
Yeah, and she's like, who's got the energy anymore?
She's just totally given up.
So, yeah, because she talks about it's not about your compassion for animals. It's more about hanging off the arm of an idiot. I think that's her line, something to that effect. And then with regards to the religion, she talks about dumb and spiritless, or dumb and something I can understand.
Dumb and lazy.
Yeah, something like that. But spiritual, she doesn't understand.
Yeah, dumb and lazy, I understand.
Yeah.
God, the Elaine character just goes through the biggest transformation over the show. Now, at this point, Jerry talks to the host of the party, or one of the hosts, Steve Pocatello. Played by Michael Chiklis, who is, I gotta say, this character is not one of my favorites. I think he's very, forgettable in the big scheme of things. But
really?
I think so. But I think Michael Chiklis does such a great job. There's just nothing. We'll get into it later when he visits Jerry in New York, but there's something really off about this character that just makes me feel really uncomfortable.
He's a sleazeball.
Is that it?
Yeah, I have some things I'll say later on, but he's a scumbag.
Because there's this weird thing where the way he looks at Jerry,
his eyes get big where you see the whites completely around.
Yeah.
It's almost like a like a car salesman or used car salesman or something.
Yeah, but there's something else going there where like it just feels like he has a few loose wires. I don't know. Well, we can get into it later, but he's kind of jokey, and either the jokes aren't landing in this episode or it's how Michael Chiklis delivered the character. But there's just something weird about him. Like his jokes, they aren't funny, and they're just oddly timed.
I think it's meant to be that way.
Yeah,
so I don't think he's forgettable at all. I think he's memorable in terms of being this sleazeball that I'm going to come back to it later. But I think part of him comes to visit Jerry in New York on purpose to pay him back for what Jerry's about to do to him at this party.
Yeah. So Jerry calls Kramer, and this is something I wish they did more in the show. But how
the abbreviated names?
Yeah, Crame, Sign. I like that. That's because he calls Kramer the K-Man. You know, there's little nicknames, but I wish they did the Crame sign more often.
Matt, Vin. Doesn't work.
Jerry tells Kramer that he's stuck on Long Island, and I like how he phrases this. He's like, what about taking a ride? You know, don't leave me hanging. Which Jerry knows what he's getting himself into here. It's just ridiculous because from the Jacket episode, he's like, you can't trust Kramer. Like, you can't rely on him.
We already know his concept of time just from that episode alone, and it'll be further reinforced later on in the series that his mental clock is not as good as it should be.
Yeah.
Now, the scene ends with Jerry saying, let me give you directions. And I thought that was kind of interesting because there's something that's an outdated thing in Seinfeld where nowadays you just say, pick me up at this address, or can you pick me up at this venue? And all you do is log on your smartphone, type it in Google Maps, and you're there.
Another reason why Seinfeld is just such a bad show.
It's an antiquated show.
so
Nobody should watch it. Turn this off.
We'll turn off our podcast probably, but the show's okay. We got an act break, and we come back. Now there's no cars outside the house. It's 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Jinx, buy me a Coke. I love that.
It's 2 a.m., and Steve and Jenny are like finishing cleaning while Jerry and Elaine sit on the couch.
Jerry picks up a Civil War book. And here comes our cute Elaine moment of the show.
Oh, you got the Civil War book. I saw some of that show. It was wonderful.
620 million people died. 620,000. The horror.
She's adorable.
We didn't talk about this before we recorded, but why were we both gravitated towards the scene? Like we both picked up on the cuteness factor.
Elaine looks like she's like a little girl on the couch because her voice rises and she's, I don't know, she's trying to make the best of a situation. I see her as a little girl.
The horror. And this whole time, I guess Jenny is trying to be polite to them. They're apologizing for still being there. And
she's holding her tongue at this point.
Yeah, but she's laying into Steve, right?
Ooh, she's reaming him. Good.
She doesn't want to go to... threw me off. Doesn't want to go to bed with them, still here. And, I kind of feel bad for Steve because he looks just like a little kid listening to her.
She wears the pants and she's bossing him around and he looks dejected.
Now, it's so funny because I haven't watched The Shield. I hear it's fantastic, but...
Shield's a good show.
Yeah. I look at Michael Chiklis and I'm like, man, he is like, like a really like hard edge, badass, sexy, gorgeous man.
You're luscious, you're ravishing.
But it's so funny in this episode, like he definitely looks just totally, just like emasculated, and just like so broken. It's just, I don't know, it's just really good. Something as simple as just like an expression on his face. I really like the character I don't like, but I like his performance, if that makes sense. Jerry tries to, build a conversation here, and he's like, a friend of my father used to live right around here. Mike Wichter. He sold plastic straws, the kind. You could bend them.
That's funny. This is the first time we actually get well, not the first time, but normally there's a character we never see coming from Kramer, but this one's coming from Jerry, Mike Wichter.
I love that. I don't know why I wish every episode had a character, a full like first and last name that you never meet, you'll never see. I don't know why I like that so much. Jerry's totally laughing, by the way, when he says that. Like, you can bend them. I feel like they cut away immediately.
Yeah. So at this point, there's a shot of Jenny and Steve in the kitchen, and you see Kramer's head poke through the kitchen window, and Jenny lets out this blood-curdling scream, And this gag was actually added in rehearsals. And after she screams, Jerry, in the most calmest way possible, says, "That's him." So it's so expected. Oh, she's screaming in the kitchen. Has to be Kramer. It's beautiful.
We're only 14 episodes into this show, and Kramer is still still being developed. But I like that there's still this. Oh yeah, that's him, and the audience gets it. He tries to explain that the directions he had, blew out the window when he was driving.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah, I had the directions on the seat right next to me. They flew out the window.
Then how did you find the place?
Well, I knew the exit on the Long Island Expressway, and I thought that the address was 8713 Riviera Drive. So I drove around knocking on everybody's doors that had those numbers. 8317, 7813, 3718, 1837. Finally, I hit it. 8173.
Now, at this point, this kind of sets up the second half of the episode. Jerry thanks Steve for letting them stay and says, hey, if you're ever in the city and you want to hit up a comedy club, look me up. And he gives him his address and his phone number, which I thought was kind of like a weird sort of like way to say thank you to someone for letting them stay. Is it because Jerry's...
Because he inconvenienced him by staying late at this party. So he did something so he said, hey, I can help you out if you're ever in the city. So I get it.
But do you think Jerry meant it? Like, or is he thinking, oh, this guy's not going to take me up on...
He was probably hoping that he would not take him. I think it was an empty gesture, but he ended up blowing up in his face.
Totally. And as they leave, Kramer, we're going to play the clip because I just love this line.
Well, you better zip up. I couldn't get the top on the convertible up.
But it's cold out.
Yeah. Wait when we get on the expressway.
Now, we never see another convertible from Kramer except when he's in California, right? And he's getting those headshots made and they fly out the back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen Kramer in a car already, right?
We haven't seen Kramer in a car yet, no.
We have not. Okay. No. So this is his first car that we know of is a convertible.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But right. I don't know what he normally drives through the show, like that huge
It's
boat.
like a hoop. Yeah, like a Lincoln type car. I'm
almost
not a car guy, but
we brought up in the ex-girlfriend, Jerry's driving a car like that.
Yeah, a real like POS. He's not doing well yet.
Not quite. Next scene is at Jerry's apartment, and this is the scene that I definitely connected with because I was sick when I watched it. Still am sick. Jerry's on the phone with George and tells him that he and Elaine have been sick all week. It was 80 miles per hour, 40-degree temperature for 50 minutes. So this is interesting if anyone's curious about numbers, but in the script, the party took place in Long Island in Belmore, New York. And if you map out the distance, it's 35 miles, which would take about an hour and 5 minutes, just because of traffic and whatnot. But so it makes me think like Kramer was really flying on the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry and George make plans to go do something, and I guess he just wants to meet George at the drugstore. He's like, Selwyn's?
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird, right? Like, why get so specific?
Well, that was the name of the drugstore. If you look in the drugstore, it's the back wall. There's a little display that says Selwyn's, and then even the medication he's holding has a Selwyn's brand on it. Is that what you're referring to, or did you mean that just for Jerry to say the word Selwyn's in the conversation?
Well, both actually. Yeah, I didn't know that there was like the drugstore had like like they came up with a fake brand for.
Yeah. So in the next scene when Jerry says, "Is this evidence or can I purchase this?" It says Selwyn's on the box.
Huh, that's really interesting. I feel like they don't do that anymore in the show. Like they never come up with like a fictional like store unless it like plays into the episode. Like, if it's like H&H Bagels, well, that's like an actual brand. But
Jiffy Park.
It all makes sense. But anyways, just a weird kind of like specific thing to note. Jerry gets ready to go and there's a knock on the door.
Who is it?
Mr. Pocatello!
Who?
You mean you don't recognize my voice? Jerry, baby!
Do I know you?
Boy, this comedy's really frying your brain.
I'm sorry.
See, this is the kind of lasting impression I make on people.
Oh, okay.
You said if I was ever in the city, I'm in the city!
You certainly are.
This is the stuff that like just confuses me about the character. Like I get that he's sleazy, but it reeks of reeks of desperation, where he's just like, Jerry, baby. And it also feels weird though that Jerry doesn't recognize him.
Yeah. How long ago was the party?
It's been a week at the most, because he's like, we've been sick all week to George. So wouldn't you remember this guy?
I would think so.
He was waiting for a lift back to Long Island, won't be ready till 11, and wanted to see what Jerry was doing and hang out. And Jerry's pretty, like, honest with him. He's like, hey, sorry, I'm on my way out to see a friend. And this is the stuff that kind of confuses me.
What's the thing you're having a hang up about?
Steve's, like, a little hurt, right? And it's like, dude, you can't... It's weird that he would be so, like, offended that Jerry had something to go do. So
he popped in unannounced.
He popped in unannounced, and he's, like, kind of... He's not, like, giving Jerry crap for it, but he's just kind of like, oh, hey, well, whatever. Like, he almost doesn't believe him that he's busy or doing something. And then Jerry does the weirdest thing ever. He's like, well, if you want to hang out in my apartment while I step out, that is insane. Like, Jerry doesn't know this person at all.
You don't even recognize him, and you're just going based on what he says that you do know each other. It's like, sure.
Yeah, like...
Leave the door open.
That seems so, just not out of character, but just a really dumb move to make.
Maybe that's why Jerry's already been ripped off 18 or 19 times, because he lets people just stay in his apartment with the door open. Now, so I thought it was really interesting that this setup is the exact same setup that Jerry went through when he was at the party on Long Island, because he was at Steve's house, staying there, waiting for a friend to come pick him up. Mm-hmm. So part of me thought that this was Steve coming back to New York to screw with Jerry.
Oh,
He's
really?
like, oh, you're going to make me wait? I'm going to make you wait. You know, that occurred to me. Mm-hmm. But then it also seems sincere that he was in the city. You know, he's waiting for a friend to pick him up. And he knows Jerry, so he thought he'd check him out.
Yeah.
But it seems too perfect that the exact same circumstances are occurring with Steve, you know?
It's just all over the place that I just don't get. I just don't understand this character. Even later on when he calls the escort service, that's like, was that like deep down? Is that like his whole motivation? Like, was he just excited about getting laid? You know,
perhaps. Well, because you could see how just like you said, emasculated he was by his wife. That it makes it. I understand why he would look to cheat. I don't condone it, but like it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see like this guy's obviously very unhappy at home, and he's trying to find some sort of like outlet. Next scene is at the drugstore. What's it called again?
Selwyn's.
Now this is an interesting bit of trivia, right? This drugstore scene with George here, where they talk about the party. This was originally supposed to be first after Kramer picked them up at the house.
Correct.
And then we were going to get the scene when what's his face comes over, Steve.
Steve comes over. Jerry
would go to bed. He wouldn't go out to the drugstore.
Jerry was going to go to bed, and all the hijinks that ensued after would occur while Jerry was sleeping, which is really weird to think about.
Yeah, it's
so really... Steve's hooking up with an escort in Jerry's house while Jerry's sleeping in his bedroom.
I think it's weirder that Jerry would leave a stranger in his apartment by himself. That's the weirdest to me.
Till 11, yeah.
But if Jerry were asleep, it would make sense if like Kramer came over and he's like, hey, I'm going to go to bed. You can hang out with your Kramer while I sleep. That makes sense to me.
That makes more sense.
And
I guess, and then why would Jerry go to bed so early before 11?
Well, because he's sick. And what's interesting too is when you get into this drugstore scene. So with this new order of, you know, Steve coming over and then Jerry going out to the drugstore, I think they filmed the drugstore scene first. Like, I think they filmed that first because there's no mention of Steve at all in the drugstore scene except for, like, an ADR line right at the top where you have a shot of the city and you have Jerry say, the guy's in my house right now.
You're right.
And then they go right into, like, the party talks. So, like, yeah, you can tell that was, like, fixed in post, I think. In the drugstore, Jerry and George are talking about what a mistake the party was and they shouldn't have gone.
George regrets hooking up with Ava because he's saying, have you ever dated a woman in your office? And he talks about how awful it is. He's doing material all day. And if the conversation he has with Ava goes well, he ends up analyzing it and he won't even go to the bathroom for the rest of the day so he can avoid her and end on a high note. And he asked Jerry, have you ever dated somebody you work with? And Jerry has the best response.
Never had a job.
Yeah, great joke. So George is like, the anxiety you experience on a first date? I experience that every day now.
Well, I don't know if I feel the same way about George, because it's like you either like hook up with someone you work with and that was it, like, oh, I hooked up with my coworker at a party last night, or if you become boyfriend girlfriend, you're dating. But if you're choosing to be boyfriend girlfriend, I would assume like the first couple of weeks if not the first couple of months, are pretty exciting. You know what I mean?
True.
Because you're in that honeymoon phase, quote unquote, of dating. Like everything's fun. You know, you really love this person. You don't start
You're
to
on
hate
top
their
of
guts.
the world. Yeah.
And walking on air.
There you go.
And the fact that George is already like second guessing his decision makes me feel like does he not like her anymore? Is it just those insecurities are coming up?
Well, maybe George's lovemaking skills were not up to par for Ava. Perhaps that's what went on.
Yeah. George has this great thing that this just feels like Larry David for some reason, even though I don't think Larry David really worked in an office. So maybe this is Matt Goldman. I don't know.
Every time I go to the bathroom, I pass her desk. I have to plan little patter. I spend half my day writing. Then afterwards, I sit in my office and analyze how it went. If it was a good conversation, I don't go to the bathroom for the rest of the day. I see her laughing and talking with other people. They're all so loose and relaxed. I think, that used to be me. I want to go back there again.
What are you going to do?
I have no choice. I'm quitting.
But yeah, he's regretting it. I do feel kind of bad for George here because he's not being like a pig. You know, he likes Ava. He thinks that she likes him. Just part of me wishes that he didn't really, get into this relationship at all.
It's his fault.
We jump back to Jerry's apartment for just a minute here. Kramer, God, this scene, man. Oh, if anyone watches these episodes before listening to this podcast or however they do it, please let us know if anyone feels as awkward as I do. But this scene is so weird. It's another scene where there's like no laughing at all. There's no jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I hate saying this, but there's something about Michael Richards where when he has to be straight, like just, normal, quote unquote.
I'm aware.
Yeah, he's not, it just feels weird. It feels off.
You find it awkward when he's not being weird.
Not weird, but the amount of energy and thought he puts into Kramer and like the delivery, the mannerisms, all that, it's so like masterful that when you're watching him, you're kind of like spoiled by like, oh, everything Kramer says and does has to be funny. So when he does things that aren't funny and it's just a normal conversation, I don't know, it just feels like really off to me and really uncomfortable. Right. And almost like there's like this dark thread running through it. Like there's this really dark subtext that might not be there. I'm just like creating it in my mind.
Yeah, you're crazy anyway.
Look at this episode objectively, like you've never seen it before. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea what Steve's MO is here? He's in the stranger's apartment, just watching TV, and then he's like, hey, Kramer, is there anything to drink around here, or is that a stupid question?
That is, well, I don't know what it's like to be really into drinks, but yeah, that is odd. Mm-hmm. And then he's so put out when he learns there's nothing in the apartment.
Yeah, like
well, maybe he's alcoholic, or maybe he's, addicted to drinking.
Yeah,
so.
Could be. We'll get into this more, but back at the drugstore, Jerry picks up some cold medicine, and we find out it's, $9.60, and
yep.
George figures that kind of like cancels out the $10 that the cashier didn't give him, so he puts it in his jacket, right?
What are you, treating me to cough medicine now?
Kind of reminded me a little bit of the bookstore when like he's stealing the book.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. No.
And as they start casually walking away,
well, first Jerry's vehemently opposed to this. He's like, what do you say to someone like you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry's not big on stealing. Like his parents stealing batteries, Uncle
Leo.
Swarm!
Yeah. So the security guard once again comes right over and he busts George, and he grabs George by the arm. And I noticed George does this little pitter patter with his feet. Did you notice that? It's so funny.
When he's caught or when he's in trouble?
Yeah, when the security guard is dragging him towards the counter, you see George do a little. His feet kind of do like a cartoon move. I feel like Jason Alexander, like that's all him. It's so good.
Yeah, he's got this. He did a lot of theater before this, and he has this very graceful, almost I could have danced all night.
Yeah,
funny you say that. No, it's like a dancer, but like, he's just very light on his feet, when he needs to be, and I love that about the George character.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna call the police?
Man. Can I still buy this, or is this evidence now?
So we go back to Jerry's apartment, and Kramer and Steve are just having themselves a ball, laughing, drinking. And I thought, I was like, are they drinking Hennigans?
Anything?
But I like seeing Kramer drunk. I find Kramer very funny as a drunk. So, I can only think of the two times, this scene and then in the Red Dot. But here we go. Oh, another callback. Kramer is telling the story that he experienced during the jacket when he was chasing down doves. And we learned a little bit more about the story. A woman was screaming at the top of her lungs.
You know who that woman was?
Is that Elaine?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
right.
That's what I thought, but he didn't. He didn't say it specifically, but so it was Elaine.
Jury's still out.
And when the magician returns back from Europe, 2 of the doves turn brown, and this is hysterical. Ha ha ha!
To Steve or just to
Both.
you?
No, to Steve and Kramer. They're like brown.
Yeah, they. What did he feed the birds? Mini Ritzes? Maybe that was it. Kramer is going at like nuts.
Yes.
And Steve's laugh is so weird. Like it's like Wah! so high pitched.
So let me ask you something. You know any women we could call?
Okay, right here, man. This comes to a screeching halt. When he's like, when the laughter doesn't die down to be funny, it's like they laugh hysterically, it ends. And when Steve asks about women, like to me the tone gets it's so unsettling.
Yeah. Well,
do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. Because first he was like, "Do you have any booze?" And then he gets the booze. Then he says, "Do you know any women?" So he's hitting it hard.
And Kramer says no, he doesn't know any women that they could call. Steve suggests the escort service.
Mm-hmm. And this is when I thought to myself, man, this dude is a scumbag.
Oh.
So Kramer, he's just lonely. Yeah, he's just
I'm just kidding.
Oh, poor Steve. But Kramer knows the number of the escort service off the top of his head. Did you notice that?
Yeah, like, and that's the thing that just this scene reeks of like both of these guys, even Kramer. They all feel like they're really full of shit for some reason.
Well,
like
Kramer used to have a problem, so maybe when he had his gambling addiction, he also got along with the ladies as well. Remember? So,
but I don't know. It's just he's like, yeah. The fact that he knows the number right off the top of his head, it just feels awkward. Man,
it could have been a number he saw on the late night ad. So I don't want to judge Kramer. So I do apologize if I'm prejudging Kramer. But the number's 555 love. That's an easy number to remember.
Filk.
Good one.
555 love.
You're that was weak.
Okay.
So Steve asked Kramer, "Do you want to get in on this?" And Kramer declines because he's got a girl in the next building. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to think, do we know who this girl is? Do we have any idea?
No idea.
Because there's been a couple times where Kramer has dated women who live in close proximity to the building. Mm-hmm. He dated Becky Gelke, who was
That's when he has a seizure, right?
Yes, the car that got the hit and run. She's the one who got hit, and the woman ran on her. Then the woman who walks around naked in the contest.
Yeah.
Kramer hooks up with her. And then there's a woman that Kramer sees down at the bus stop, and he's looking at her, leering at her through binoculars 5 floors up, and he goes, "What a body." And he's like, "I'm going to go talk to her."
Right, and that was brought up in the stock tip episode. So yeah, technically, I don't know. That was 9 episodes ago. Maybe it was someone that Kramer had dated.
Go Kramer.
Yeah, good for him.
So now Jerry's returning home from the drugstore, and we hear some arguing occurring on the other side of his door, and there's a woman's voice.
"Now, I want my money, mister, and I ain't leaving till I get it." "Now, I am through playing games with you. I got things to do."
Oh, Jerry. Look who's here. It's Jerry.
What the hell?
Jerry, this is Patty.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
What the hell is going on here?
I don't know, but I gotta do this more often. Oh, there's my ride, finally.
I'm not going to go anywhere until I get the rest of my money.
The Patty, the escort, is played by Bobby Jo Lathan. Do you want to shed some light onto her?
Well, yeah, we talked about her a few episodes ago when we discussed the bet. She was going to play the flight attendant that Kramer would have sex with, and there was this whole debate on whether or not that happened. I don't think they ever filmed her scenes, but this is an example of an actor that was in an episode, it was scrapped, and they bring her back later.
I like that. They must have liked her.
Mm-hmm. Much smaller role, yeah. But yeah, man, I gotta say, this is a few notes here. This is not a criticism of Bobby Jo Lathan as a person, but what the hell is going on with that look? Like, this is only 1991.
Oh, you're talking about the hair, the bleach blonde,
dude.
the high hair.
It is terrifying. Like, the hair is huge, the shoulder pads.
Oh, hey.
Oh, I don't know why
Is that escort chic?
I don't know, man, but it just feels really out of date.
We are judging pretty hard in The Stranded.
Well, it scares me, man. And also the fact that Michael Chiklis, I think, he's a much shorter actor than she is.
Mm-hmm. She's like
towering
over him.
Yeah, it's like really intimidating. How much time passed, by the way, since Jerry left his apartment? Because
that's true. How long does it take to go get cold medication at a drugstore?
Well, let's say like 5 minutes after he left, that's when Kramer came over to just hang out. And let's say they got drunk in 30 minutes since Jerry left.
Okay.
That's possible, right?
Yeah.
He comes over, they drink really quickly, they get drunk in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. They call an escort service. That would have to take at least an hour.
Right, for her to call, order, and then have her show up. So maybe Jerry and George got a bite. After the cold store. Although I wouldn't think Jerry would want to, being sick. But
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird issue with time here, where a lot happened, especially because, and this blew my mind because I'm a little slow here, everyone. But I never realized that Steve, he had sex with her, right?
Yeah.
I never got that.
Oh. You are so naive, Matthew.
What is sex? No, I never put together that. Just because also there was so little time, while Jerry was gone. I'm like, oh well, he must have called her. Nothing happened. They got in an argument because he didn't give her money up front, and that's what this fight is about. I never realized that they had sex.
No, they were playing a game of pachinko, and he lost. Actually, they weren't having sex. They made love.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, Steve leaves without paying full price, and Jerry finds out that Kramer was involved. And also, Steve extends an offer. Hey, we're having another party the weekend of the 26th. Come on out. Patty's not going to leave until she gets the rest of her money. And
so, hang on. So she's been paid money. Sorry.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, Vinny has to go. And I am dragging out this conversation as long as possible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
But so she says she's not leaving until she gets the rest of her money.
So did he have to pay her up front, or maybe did they go twice? Like he paid for one round, and
I don't know, man.
$50 he owes her. So was it only $100? But he only pay her half? I don't know how.
Really, yeah. If you're paying any money up front, I've never heard of someone paying like more than 50% up front if you're not paying full price. Like who pays? Oh, give me 80% of the money. Give me 90%. Like it's either like 10%, 50%, or all of it. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty inexpensive escort. $100.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So Jerry pays her.
He's counting out the money one bill at a time. Mm-hmm. At this point, a police officer walks in, and this is perfect timing, and sees Jerry handing Patty the money, and he goes, "You're under arrest for solicitation of prostitution." And
how did this happen though, man? Like, just like this last like 5 minutes of this episode just to me completely falls apart, like just logically, from the time issue to everything that happened with Steve to now cops are arriving.
Maybe the police officer saw Patty on the street walking and she looked suspicious.
So what were the cops doing from when Patty walked in there, had sex with Steve at least once, and then left? And what were they, just like waiting in the lobby for someone to enter?
Perhaps, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the ride. Maybe
you love this episode. Defend it.
I do. Maybe one of the neighbors saw this person that doesn't normally live there and said something fishy is going on here. Any number of things could have happened.
And how did they get buzzed up? So did maybe Elaine,
your buzzer door is broken again. Came right in.
So I guess cops are just allowed to enter your apartment too. By the way, they can just barge right in.
The door was that's right.
Arrest you. Like no, yeah. I thought
I smelled something.
Yeah, this episode, like this moment here, just how everything kind of starts going crazy. People are misinterpreting things. This seems like a really poor attempt at everything's coming together at the end, but things aren't all coming together. It's just bad timing more than anything.
I never really picked up on it. Like the whole concept of time and the chronology of the events, they all worked for me. Mm-hmm. So that's why I didn't cut it with an axe like some people. But everything worked out, and I thought the storylines all came together. But now that you're making good points, but it still doesn't take away from the episode for me.
So Elaine arrives. Oh my God, no, Elaine's here, and she sees Jerry paying a prostitute. She arrives with chicken soup, and for no reason, she just asks Patty if that's real fur, and the cop and Jerry go, "Oh boy!"
But isn't that a good capper to Elaine's storyline? Is that you're already poo-pooing. You're making that face.
I'm just staring off into the distance right now. I don't know why, dude. This is so. I kind of had issues with the busboy episode. Remember, like how awkward it felt.
I like that one too.
But I totally forgot about this episode. But oh my God, this scene just killed. Like this to me is some of the worst Seinfeld moments. Like I would say this scene with Patty the prostitute is one of my top 10 least favorite moments.
Oh.
And what do you know? The Elaine asking about the fur coat and Jerry's "oh boy" were added during rehearsals because it was just so funny that they're like, we have to add this.
Maybe for the sake of tying it all together, adding another joke, wrapping up Elaine's storyline.
Because really all it is without that "oh boy" and the fur coat it's just like
she's just dropping off soup.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, Jerry, you're caught in a really awkward situation."
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It brings the episode more like full circle and like quote unquote like it's tighter, like especially on page.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of humor, yikes.
So now I do want to talk about a sad moment for Seincast, Matt. I have some bad news for us.
Oh God.
I regret to inform you guys that we missed our first double dipper. I am terribly sorry.
Double dipped? What are you talking about?
You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and you dipped again.
You okay, Vinny? Are you crying?
So the actor who plays the cop, his name is Frank Piazza. Frank Piazza. He plays a police officer in this episode. He's also credited as playing a customer in Male Unbonding. I didn't have time to go back and look at which customer and where, but he's got 2 credits in Seinfeld, so that does make him technically a double dipper.
Yeah, when I found out about this, I was pretty ashamed. Like I stayed actually in bed for about like 12 hours just under the covers. Right? Yeah, I just started throwing up profusely when I found out we missed this. And but we were talking about this last episode with with Julia, her half sister that shows up at that party when they're watching the marathon.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, is she a double dipper? And we kind of established that she's not because she doesn't have any dialogue.
Right.
And we were arguing that dialogue is what constitutes a double dipper.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just appear in an episode, then appear in another. Because certain people like Kramer stand-in, Jerry stand-in, they appear, but they're not. Yeah. It's
a gray area.
I'm trying to like help you out here. I don't want you to feel so bad because that guy, he's in line behind George at the bank. Oh, and he does have a line. He does. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, screwed up.
Screwed the pooch here, boy.
I guess I screwed up. Oh, you sure did. Big time.
Yeah, any errors or adjustments we need to make to the show, it's an I guess I screwed up moment.
Yeah, anytime we screw up on the show, which should happen quite a bit, especially as we ramble on for almost 2 hours, let us know. But this is our first double dipper that we missed. At least we caught it, right? And it never was acknowledged. But there you go. So Frank Piazza played the cop and the customer at the bank.
So imagine the Knicks without Ewing. Yeah, that guy. The omelet. Damn.
We should close down and retool.
So now we go back to Jerry's apartment, and Jerry and George are eating pizza, talking about their respective arrests. And I love how they're talking about it with such enthusiasm. Normally you'd be pretty upset that you got arrested, but these guys are just loving life. And they're like, did you have Sergeant Chadway? Yeah, he was a nice guy. And then they both also had the cop with the really long red sideburns.
Red hair, long sideburns.
Yeah. Why do you have that attitude, And one of the guys in George's cell threw a piece of gum at him. But that was just a cool little moment how both got arrested. Hey, they also both got arrested in the parking garage, right? For public urination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very similar to that. And also very similar, just in a sense, to The Bet, which the episode they didn't film completely with Bobby Joe Latham. Mm-hmm. In the end of that episode, they would have all been arrested as well.
That's right.
So I wonder if the scene was repeated.
And And at the finale, they all got arrested. Okay, let's shut this down.
Okay. Last bit of stand-up.
There's two types of favors, the big favor and the small favor. You can measure the size of the favor by the pause that a person takes after they ask you to do me a favor. Small favor, small pause. Can you do me a favor? Hand me that pencil. No pause at all. Big favors are, could you do me a favor?
This is brilliant, man. Like, I love... I know Jerry's sort of stereotyped as, oh, the did you ever notice kind of humor, but this is something I never really thought about, and it's just so brilliant and spot on.
He hits the nail on the head. Well, there's a reason he is one of the greats, is because he can take something as simple as asking somebody for a favor and finding funny in it. Mm-hmm. And it's brilliant. Like, nobody else has been able to articulate it this way, and for good reason.
And it's, I feel like Toby in the audience, like, yes, that is so true.
Yes.
All right, let's get to our ratings.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
You want to go first? Or you want me? I'll go first, so then you can take a dump on it after I go. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I when I watch an episode and I think about what I'm going to rate it, I think of it as a whole and how did it make me feel. But I'm watching this episode and I was getting invigorated. I was getting invigorated watching it.
Why'd you laugh right then?
Because I saw you change your rating.
I lowered it even more.
Yeah. Like, I really was getting enthusiastic watching this episode. I liked the storylines. We should also note that the idea for going to a party and getting stranded there so that your friend can pursue, a woman, that was actually a real life story from Matt Goldman, the writer, from his real life. So he's the one who was responsible for the germ of the storyline. But I loved the multiple storylines. I also thought we're starting to get into that realm where every character is being utilized fully, or at least more so than they had been in previous episodes. If you look at each of the main four in this episode, each one of them had significant storylines. There was also lots of callbacks to previous episodes, which I just relish. And we even had bits from the beginning of the episode make their way to the end of the episode, which I guess is just things coming full circle. But like, the episode started in a drugstore, then we had them come back to a drugstore and, went haywire for George. The fur in the middle of the episode coming back to the end with Elaine. All these things, Matt did find some holes in them, which I do agree with, but I'm just watching the episode as a fan, and I'm enjoying what these characters are getting into. I also really like the guest stars. I really like Michael Chiklis I like him as a person. We're good friends. But I liked him being in there, and I like that they brought in this Bobby Jo Lathan back from The Bet. She didn't get to film her spot on The Bet, so they brought her back. I like that Jerry had a nice meaty storyline. He wasn't really playing the straight man in this episode. He wasn't a setup guy. He had some issues he had to deal with. So for all those reasons, and for all those, I'm very passionate about this episode. I can feel myself talking. Jeez, I need to calm down. There's one other thing I wanted to say that I liked. Oh, some really notable quotes with the dingo eating your baby. The cashew is a legume. And there's other ones, but I'm going to stop right now. So I'm going to give this 8.5 head pats out of 10.
Oh my God.
So I'm done.
That's great. No, you actually are kind of like pulling me away from the brink here for a second. Excellent points. I have to agree with a lot of, let's talk about the pros about this episode. I think the stand-up is great. I love the guest stars, Michael Chiklis, even Bobby Jo Lathan. These two actors, I don't understand their characters at all. It's really weird. Like, I don't understand Patty's design, like her costume and all that. I don't understand the character motivations of Steve. Like, I get that he's kind of this emasculated, frustrated, depressed husband living out in Long Island. How it comes off, it just seems really sinister and really creepy. Maybe that's the point. I like that all the characters got a lot of screen time. That's always fantastic. So many great random lines in this episode, from like you mentioned, the cashew line to the one character, Ellen, just saying, yeah, I remember you.
Yeah.
Love that. Just these really small moments. And sometimes that can redeem an episode for me if there's a few moments that I love quoting or I love a callback to. This episode, I don't want to say it's forgettable. I think it's quite memorable, mainly because of the dingo eating your baby line. Just that setting, seeing Elaine on an unfamiliar set, I think is very kind of iconic. She's not in the apartment, she's not in the diner. So I think people know like the look of this episode, but as a whole, I think this is, I hate saying this, I think this is one of the worst episodes of Seinfeld. The jokes, to me, the jokes work. I think it's just the story that doesn't work for me at all. It just feels weird. The acting feels off at times. The characters, particularly the Steve character, really bug me sometimes. So maybe it's more of like just like a personal feeling on it. The issue with time kind of rubs me the wrong way. A lot of rambling here. Just this episode doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to give it 6 legumes out of 10.
Ooh,
ouch. I think that's like pilot rating too.
Yeah.
I think I gave the pilot like a 6 or 6.5.
That's got a height.
That's going to do it for Seincast for this week. Vinny, let everyone know how they can get in touch with us.
Sounds great, Mom. You can email us at seincast@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter @Seincast. And you can keep up to date with us as we'll post things every week like the Double Dipper that we missed this week, the I Guess I Screwed Up of the week, and other things for your viewing pleasure.
What episode do we have for next week, Vinny?
Next week, we're going to be discussing the 10th episode of the second season, The Statue, you wuss.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off.
Seinecast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. The official Seinfeld site can be found at sonypictures.com/TV/Seinfeld. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Castle Rock Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Oh boy, here we go.